So we got Marko and we got Kollektiv. That's Tim. They're both Soviet players, obviously. I think this is a best of 11, so there's no way in hell I'm going to be here for all these games. So you really can't have a tournament without a map on Heck Freeze. So that's the first one. You guys have seen me play this 4v4, but this is going to be hopefully it'll be a close series. Actually, I hope it's not, because I'm not going to be able to watch all of them. This goes to 11 games. This map looks a little edited. What version of this map is this? Oh, it's definitely edited. Because the trees look a little different here. Yeah, you don't really play anything but Iraq when you go Soviet. It's not really viable. Alright, Tim's gonna open up with a drone. So he's gonna need a good scout. They both are. So if they've got the scout, they might try and snag a miner here or the first tank, whatever comes first. We got mirror builds going on here. Tim's gonna go for the right side and expand upwards, it looks like. Alright, showdown with the miners here. Both the drones are in place. And I assume he's got this scouted. See if he goes for it when the miner goes in. Oh, I don't think he does have it scouted. He's scouting with it right now. So this drone's holding firm there, but Tim's looking to be a little more aggressive with his. Here we go. He's gonna get that rhino. Pop. So as you guys know, when the tanks go over the gold, they actually slow down. So if a drone can catch it before it gets onto the gold, it's gonna catch him every time. All right, Marko's gonna look to expand to the right, but he's gonna run into 3 rhinos that are maybe waiting for it. So he's gonna meet him here, and this might be the first engage. And he's gonna stop there and maybe expand down. But he's gonna want to get those gems, so we'll see how he plays this. Alright, he's going to have to be careful here. Tim is... I hope he can see that, because otherwise this might be over pretty quickly. And he does see it, so he's going to try and sneak off to the left here. Oh, but if he's not careful, this could be game 1 right here if he lets that go. He did a good job of protecting that, so better the Rhino than the MCV. I hope he noticed that. Okay, good. Alright, and with that distraction, Marko might make a play here for the center on these gems. That's going to be the pivotal base walk of the game here if he can get to those first. Meanwhile, Tim's able to secure those gems on bottom left. And this is going to be our first hard engage, and Marko's going to have to back off because he is... He was down on fodder, and now he's up, so we'll see Tim counter with some dogs of his own. Meanwhile, he's still needing to expand out to those gems, so he's going to get the second spot of gems first. Meanwhile, Marko is really securing all the gold. He's got a lot of miners, and he's got a lot of war factories. So he's up to 4 war factories. Tim's at 3. And they're both doing good on economy right now, so we'll see how this first engage goes. Looks like Marko's got the fodder in the right position, whereas Tim doesn't, so he's going to need to regroup here. He needs to run those over. And Marko, this looks pretty even actually. This looks really even, so Marko's gonna have to back off. So certainly not over, but Marko maybe came out underwhelming in that performance. But Tim's gonna need to back off. He's getting a little too aggressive here. He's gonna try and get the the elevation there on that cliff. And Tim's doing some good damage here. Now he can keep the ball rolling here. And if he gets these miners, that could be a huge turning point in this game. Definitely not over yet, because now he's in Marko's territory. So he's got little reinforcements, but he's going to try and dip some Medusa around the base here and get to the other side. Maybe a free miner to pick off. Tim's going to go for the split here. He's going to get the power, so he's going to make Marko go low power here. Just easy pickings right there. And now he's going to come in for those miners, so let's see how Marko responds. So Marko's able to fend off and only lost one reactor. So Tim's doing a good job of splitting, but Marko equally good at reacting. And meanwhile, Tim seems to be taking some damage on his tanks, whereas Marko's just kind of in turtle mode right now. But it's going to come down to Marko. He needs to expand a little bit here. You can tell he's running out of economy here. He's going to need to expand as he pops up that 5th war factory. He's going to need to secure at least this side for the gems, or in the center for the gems. Oh, and he's making... Okay, so Marko's going to make a play for the end game here. He's decided to all in because he sold that MCV, which means he's going for that quick splash of credits so he can catch up and hopefully pull ahead. Marko's going for that nice little split there. And he might be able to... Marko might be able to sandwich these tanks right here. He's going to have to. This is Inception sandwiching right now. Marko might try and take that hill for the elevation. And he does. And now he's got to get there before Tim. And Tim's going to retreat. And I think that was a good play. So Marko's actually pulling ahead here. We'll see if he can take advantage of it even further. So this is a massive tank advantage for Marko right now. But Tim's coming in with all he's got. And that miner's going to take some damage away as well. And Tim is now going to pull back ahead. And that is just what happens when you get into someone else's base. It's just so much easier to defend once it's actually in your base. And Tim is keeping ahead with the funding here, but Marko's going for the split. He's going to take out his miners and hopefully impact the economy there. That's 3 miners down for Tim. So that could 4 miners down for Tim now. He's at a 4 miner deficit. Marko is not going to be able to make a play for any more miners. And meanwhile, he's going to be able to regroup, hopefully, with his tanks before Tim can get to his base, especially if he goes this way with all those miners for fodder. But I don't think Tim's going to go that way. He's going to get some easy pickings on these reactors up top, because guess what? If Marko goes low power, that's all she wrote, because he has no way to rebuild them. An easy play for that barracks would be more important at this point. And now Marko's not going to... Oh, he didn't go for the barracks! Wow, I don't believe it. If Tim would have gone for that barracks, that would have been no more fodder for Marko, but he didn't. Meanwhile, Marko's coming in for another kill on the economy here if he can get some more miners. Meanwhile, Tim's going for that power. I'd go for that power in that barracks and make him go low power, no fodder. Meanwhile, Marko's still just ravaging Tim's economy here. So let's see what we got. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 miners plus for Marko, and I've got 4 for Tim, and he's only on gold here. So Tim's gonna outtake. No, he's not outtanking him. I think Marko has not only caught up but gotten ahead, and it's all because of this press on Tim's economy. And with the map being so large, he can recover before getting down too much on his tanks. The only issue for Marko right now is that he's on this last ore spot, and then he's going to have to make a play for those gems, but he's going to have to travel even further because his refineries are too far. So he's coming again. He's going to get another miner from Tim. So Tim can turtle here, and that's his only saving grace at this point because he is pretty much out-tanked. But with that... Oh, and Marko just got an elite, and that's going to be massive if he can control it properly here. And Tim's base seems to be slimming out, but those miners could be huge for Tim here. The only problem is if he loses those miners, that's it. He's not going to be able to produce anything else. And meanwhile, Marko's got 6,000 credits to his advantage. So even if Tim fends him off here, he's got another 5,000 to run through. And I think this is going to be a good game. Marko is going to take game 1. Even if he gets wiped right here, he's going to be able to rebuild in time. And meanwhile, Kollektiv is just running out of credits, and he is about to be broke. So that's a good game from Marko. Marko's going to take game 1. I would have liked to have seen Tim be a little more aggressive on those power plants and that barracks. The war factory wasn't really a big deal. He had 5 of them, so taking 1 wasn't going to do much there. But either way, that was a good game 1. And Tim obviously has what it takes to beat Marko. He maybe just needs to focus his attention a little bit better on those splits. He had good splits. He made Marko move around well enough, but I don't know that his selection for what he was trying to kill was the most effective. Alright, so Marko's already going for his MCV move here. Kollektiv actually took spot 4, so spot 4 actually has the most ore on the map. So bottom gets the advantage on this map. I hope he sees that terror drone, or else this game will be... Yeah, he sees it. So typically, you're going to see 6 miners on one ore patch here. He's got 5. And Tim's got 6. Now they both got 6. Now Tim's got 7. Alright, so they're both going 7. So this is going to be, they're probably going for late game matchup here. I'd imagine we'll see at least 4 war factories from each. It really depends. Now the only thing that's going to make the difference is whether one goes for supers or one goes for multiple war facts. So I don't know what these guys' playstyle is on this map. But considering... I don't know, they both seem to be pretty aggressive players, so I don't know that I'll see... Uh-oh. I wonder if Marko knows his miner is not mining. That's problematic. You can see that his he's going broke, and that's why, because his miner isn't mining. It's awkward. All right, yeah. So Kollektiv's gonna be pretty aggressive here. Marko's gonna get to the middle first, though. Yeah, Marko is. I mean, he's been broke pretty much. The last minute or so because of that miner just sitting there, and since it's a tournament, I'm not going to say anything. I love how I'm literally only focusing on the miner not moving instead of the actual gameplay, but that's kind of setting the tone for his economy right now. Yeah, he's broke, man. And I bet he's wondering why. Oh, there he noticed it. Yep, he was like, why am I broke? And then he saw it. Alright, so Marko's got the middle secured. So basically, you notice he's going to put these desos here, but then he's going to complement it with a sentry gun and what's called the battle bunker. But he didn't think about the air, so he's going to lose a deso here, at least one. Oh, he didn't. He could have killed that deso. Now Tim's gonna try and clean it up here. Oh, so Tim did go for that Iron Curtain. Let's see how many War Factories Marko has. Marko is probably a little behind if I had to guess, just because of that miner losing him economy that entire time. So they're going identical builds here. Marko's gonna try and counter him with that Iron Curtain, but Tim is gonna get off to a hefty lead with his Iron Curtain and definitely get his off first. So we'll look to see him. I told you guys in the past, if you're gonna use an Iron Curtain, you need to use it as soon as it's up. Otherwise, you're wasting it. So with a good player like Tim, I would expect that as soon as it's ready to pop, he's going in. So we'll see how he plays this. What you're going to hopefully see from Tim, this is on this map especially, since there's these choke points here, here, and here, right? We're going to see these helicopters be a big part of Tim's strategy when he goes in with this Iron Curtain. He's going to try and soak up the attention with the Iron Curtain in the center, possibly, and then go off to the side with those helicopters. So we'll see how Marko reacts to that. Because obviously the better you are, the more likely you are going to be able to handle the split pushes, and that's hopefully what we're going to see with Marko. Alright, we've got 30 seconds for this first Iron Curtain. And Marko's going to want to either delay this as long as possible, and he's not going to because he looks like he's going to use the drones for this Iron Curtain. And this will be interesting to see how he uses these helicopters. This is going to be kind of a wasted Iron Curtain, in my opinion. Marko was able to get away from it pretty easily. So we got the Battle Lab, but I don't think he's going to be able to take that out, and Marko's going to be able to counter with an Iron Curtain of his own. Let's see how he does this. 3 drones. Where's your flak, Marko? These are just Soviet players. That's why they're playing Soviet. They're just Soviet players. There were some Allied players in the tournament. I'm not sure if there's any. I don't think there's any left. I think Andy's the only one left, and he's Yuri. So, all right, he's gonna counter with terror drones of his own. Which I don't know if I like that call, because Tim doesn't have anything in the middle here to get past. He could have pressed into the base and used his own curtain and taken out a lot more, but damn, he's losing a lot of tanks. And I don't think he noticed. Wow, he just lost an extra tank that he didn't need to lose. And what was that? What just... Did he just use his Iron Curtain? And he is still losing tanks, I feel like. Oh, Tim's getting a little sloppy here. I'm not sure why he's pressing there. So Marko's just trying to clog up that center hole. And he's doing a good job of it. And I wonder if Tim's getting a little frustrated here. I'm not sure why. I mean, he's doing good. But at this point, I want to see more... Oh, Marko's going to get his Iron Curtain off again before Tim. We'll see how this pans out. I wonder if it'd be a good idea to... Yeah, I was going to say multiple service depots. Multiple service depots. I would say Desos would be the easy target here, and looks like he's going to come in right behind it with tanks. Maybe get some pressure off before Tim's able to pop his own Iron Curtain, but he's going to probably back off here because he's got 10 seconds on his Iron Curtain. Maybe he's... Oh, wow, he's going to try and thin him out, and there's the Iron Curtain. So not a great play by Marko there. He's going to lose a lot of tanks for that. So easy pickings for Tim right there. And let's see, I think these are the primary groupings of tanks. There's not really any secondaries. Marko's looking to make a play, but Tim's going to keep him distracted. I think what Tim's trying to do right now is maybe not look for an engage, but try and get Marko to pop his Iron Curtain away from his base. And it's not going to happen because Marko's got the fodder to keep him at bay. And it looks like Marko's going to push right in and go for an Iron Curtain right here if he can. And especially when he's got those drones on his tanks, he can actually negate the drones on his tanks with the curtain. And not a great curtain there. If I were Tim, I'd turn around and pop the other tanks. There you go. Tim's got the advantage now. So great play by Tim, and now he's got his Iron Curtain ready to pop. And if I were him, I'd just go straight up through the gut, take out those Desos at least, and push in on his power or something. Because now you're just wasting time. He's going to catch up with his own Iron Curtain. If I'm Tim, I'm not letting Marko get any closer with his Iron Curtain. You need to go in now, buddy. So Tim's looking like he's going to play it safe and go with the terror drones, but meanwhile Marko is basically already caught up with his Iron Curtain by the time those terror drones get to do anything. And that's unfortunate because Tim had a massive advantage there, but he didn't take advantage of it. He could have already been halfway down to his next Iron Curtain timer, so maybe he thought it would have been a waste to go in on that center, but at this point he would have already had an Iron Curtain ready to pop, and now Marko's already ready with his own Iron Curtain. That's definitely gonna hurt Tim here, because he can just Iron Curtain to save those tanks, and he does. Now Tim's at a disadvantage, and that could be the game, folks. And that is why you do not wait on your Iron Curtain. Tim's got a nice defense here. The problem is the economy is essentially gone. So this is when the game gets interesting, because plays like this are what's gonna screw the game when nobody's got economy. So if Tim's able to come in and really backdoor and take out some easy targets, aka the Iron Curtain, that's really gonna swing the game, because now Marko has no economy to rebuild that Iron Curtain unless he starts selling off buildings. So Marko's going to have to look to make a play right now. Otherwise, this game's going to be over in Tim's favor. But Tim's already got the Iron Curtain, so there's not much Marko can do. I would look to see Marko be aggressive and try and make him pop the Iron Curtain, but he's got so many terror drones, you already know what's going to happen. Tim could easily come in right now with just his tanks and take out this entire center portion while Marko's trying to run from those drones. Alright, and now it's time for Marko to move in. He's got to move in on this now. He's not going to be able to last another Iron Curtain. And Tim knows it. Tim's gathering all his troops, because he knows if he can outlast till this next Iron Curtain, the game's going to be over. And I'm not sure I would have sacrificed all those terror drones. That could have been the last resort for the next Iron Curtain. Oh, and Marko's got an elite, and it's got half health. This could get interesting. He's going to have to make a play for his Iron Curtain, and it looks like he's going straight for it. And Tim knows it. Oh, and he wasn't able to protect that, and now Tim is going to pull ahead here, and Tim is going to take game 2. Defeated. Series tied 1-1. All right, boys and girls, this is game 3, series tied 1-1. This is Golden State Freeway. Defeated. And we're gonna have some secondary bases here, maybe even tertiary with the ores here, with the oils rather. And it gets real dicey right in this area, because this is where the two guys are gonna meet up. Like Tim's gonna make a play for this top gem patch right here. Really not a strat that I see very often, so that's kind of cool to see. And Marko's gonna be too late with his terror drone, but he's going right for it, so that must be a common thing. He's going right up there. Something got eaten. I don't know what it was, though. Guess it was just an infantry. Oh, no, it was a miner. Damn. I didn't even see that. I guess I was looking at the one over here. Alright, so you notice he's not going to repair the whole thing, and I've told you guys that before. So the miners actually repair themselves. So I typically like to get them back in the green, and then just let them repair from that. Because otherwise you're wasting money repairing it, and they're not mining, so that's even more money lost. So it looks like Marko's going to try and make a strong arm play here since he knows he's got the advantage since he had to stop to build that service depot. Look for a nicely placed sentry gun right here for this engagement if Marko's really going to come in. Making sure he's not distracting for anything on the sides here. So if you guys are just joining us, this is a tournament, the semifinals of Killers tournament. This is Marko in red against Tim in blue. Two top Soviet players. Tim, once upon a time, a top Soviet player. I've actually not really had too much experience with him, but equally skilled players, it seems. And right now it is tied 1-1 in the series. Best of 11, so unfortunately we're not going to be able to make all the games today. There's no way. Especially with how close these games have been so far. But it looks like this is just going to be the main powwow right here. I'm not really seeing any activity on the sides. They're not looking to cheese one another. This is just going to be an old-fashioned tank control battle right here. This literally looks like a Red Alert 2 game. You used to see on Red Alert 2 on XWIS and on the original Westwood servers, just rhinos with 1,000,000 dogs. And that's how people did it. And this is going to be, if it comes down to this ore patch, this is going to be a hotly contested patch of gems right here. Looks like Marko's going to make the play for it first. And if I'm Marko, I'd be trying to clear some of those trees out, especially if he's not gonna go all in, which it looks like he is. I can just hear Mike getting triggered right now. Yeah, if they make a play for supers here, they're just gonna get too heavily out-tanked. There's just not enough ore. Maybe with this gem patch there'd be enough, but if they go for supers with what they've got, they're just gonna be down so many tanks, it's not even gonna be worth it. And I'm really surprised Marko is going so hard on this when he knows he can drop a sentry gun on here, but it looks like he's pulling ahead pretty heavily, actually. Marko is just wrecking.
Player defeated.
And Tim knows it. Marko just wrecked those tanks, absolutely sliced them. And he knows it. So Marko takes a commanding game 3 right there. So you really saw pretty much identical builds there, but Marko able to obviously edge the tank count. So this is another good map, but the problem with this map is that you can run into little buildings like this, and if your enemy has them garrisoned, you can lose a lot of units, and it's pretty frustrating. So look to see these be garrisoned pretty quickly. With the pathing in this game, you never know where your units are going to go, and if they run into this, it turns into a bad time. So each person has oils directly north and south of them, and you can look to see those expand over. Or we might see more. These guys look pretty comfortable with moving their MCVs, so we might as well just see a lot more MCV moves pretty early in the game, especially from Marko. Marko seems to get his War Factory up and then he's out with his MCV, so we'll see if he does that same move on this map. I wonder if that's just Marko's standard or if he really does have specific maps where he tries that. So what you noticed, I don't know if you guys saw that, but as soon as it got to the ore, it slowed down heavily. So Tim should have known better. Not going to be able to get a miner if it's already in the middle of the gold patch. Even if it's got to turn its barrel all the way around. You notice here, there's those garrison buildings I was talking about. They can make a big difference when play starts getting hectic and you just sloppily send your units to places on the map and you run through there and lose them. Yeah, terror drones slow down on the ore. Alright, so it looks like Marko isn't going to go for the MCV move. He's going to go for the base walk towards this secondary gold patch. Same down bottom with Tim, and you're gonna, I was gonna say I'm waiting for the split because it's an easy pick and split if he can make it there. Oh, and Tim is down to no tanks with that drone. So we'll see how Tim is gonna respond here. It looks like he's got some nicely placed terror drones that are gonna thin out Marko's army here, because that could have been really bad for an early start to this game for Tim. So he's going to be able to protect his base, but at the expense of 3 sentry guns that aren't going to be able to help him anymore, because Marko's going to be too good to keep going for those unless he just goes south and completely avoids them. So Tim got pretty extra with his defenses right there, and Marko can totally take advantage of it. And that's what I was talking about, those buildings right there, picking off tanks and damaging them, slowing them down a little bit. That's what you got to worry about. And Tim is going to lose these tanks right here, and Marko's going to make a play on his economy. 1 tank down. 2 miners down. This is not looking good for Tim. Game over. So Tim got way too invested there with his defenses, and Marko knew it and took clear advantage of it. Maybe Tim was a little more focused on his economy that game, and Marko took advantage of it early with a nicely placed terror drone on one of his rhinos, and then it was a 3-0 rush. Looked like Tim countered pretty well with the sentry guns, but overcommitted on them, and then Marko was just able to completely avoid them. And that's what I was talking about before. They can be really good to, you know, defend your base, but remember, they can't move. All you got to do is avoid them. All right, so it looks like we're getting a switch here. Tim is going to play Allied. I haven't seen Tim play. Well, shit, I haven't seen Tim play at all. So we'll see Tim with the paradrops this game and see how he can respond. Down 3 games to 1 against Marko right now. And this is definitely a map where we'll see Marko move his MCV. His first 2 games, he did it right after his War Factory. Looks like he's holding off a little bit. Maybe we'll see it now that he's got this second ore refinery down. Maybe after a second power plant. Meanwhile, Tim's already moving his MCV. So he'll move it out here to this gold. Or shit, I guess he could go all the way over for the gems, but typically you see him move him out here. Gonna try and make him go low power. And he's got that nice split with that ore refinery down south there. So he's just going to split his way this game. Nice. Yo, Ham, thanks for the look, dude. Ooh, and that's a nice play by Tim to get up there and make Marko waste a little bit of money there with those sentry guns. So pretty common tactic, but still, it's good to make him waste some money, especially with Soviet being overpowered in the early game. So Marko knows he's got time right now with that pair drop being down. Wonder if he'll focus on his expansion or if he'll try and make a play. Tim looks poised to defend this though. No issues I'm seeing yet. And Tim's already, he's got his Zerg battle lag up. So he's going to be able to start pumping out mirages. And there they are. There's the first one. So one thing I've noticed about Marko is that he is exceptional with Desolators. So that'll be interesting to see how he handles the Mirage tanks. Alright, a little more defensive strat with the paradrop that time. And that's the reason why. He's zerged out a Chronosphere. So now you're going to see Tim go into a little bit more defensive strategy here. Meanwhile, Marko with 3 war factories is not on the defense. So this is going to be pretty interesting to see. This is going to be a massive clash here in just a few seconds. I mean, Marko is going to absolutely come with everything he's got because he knows that he's got his Chronosphere up and some Mirage tanks. So he's going to come correct right now. He is not going to let him get this first Chrono Shift off. And he's going to, with that massive tank advantage, he's just going to take these gems, brute force in the center here. This looks like the answer to any Desolator issues that Tim may have, so this is going to be interesting. Here's the Deso. Marko's ready for it, and he's going right in. Tim's got a nice counter with that Battle Fort. Make sure there's no funny business going on in the back of the base. And that gap generator is going to help Tim tremendously. Doesn't matter. Marko's coming right in. Let's see how this plays out. Tim's got a nice defense here. He cannot lose that battle fort, though. If he loses that battle fort, I'm not sure how well this is going to... Oh, he's going to lose that battle fort. And now Marko's got free reign on the base. He's going to cause some havoc here. I think he can still live through this. He can't lose that battle lab, though. I'm sure by now he's got his... Nice play. He's got to stop these tanks here. He needs to just spam pillboxes at this point. He's got the resources. He's not building any infantry either. He should be throwing everything he's got at his defense right now, and he's just not. I need to see some Guardian GIs coming out of there, and I'm not. Tim's got so much money, and he's just not spending it. He's getting the pillboxes out, which is good, but he needs the Guardian GIs to defend against this. He's thinning them out slowly but surely. And if Marko makes a play on this battle lab, that's not going to be good for Tim. But he's down to 3 tanks, so it looks like Tim's going to be able to successfully defend this. But he's got 4 more coming in from the north. Warp Purifier goes down. That's going to be pretty costly to Tim's economy here. He needs to step up. I would love to see some Guardian GIs. The Guardian GIs would have absolutely murdered these tanks, and that's why he's having such a hard time dealing with them. And there's the elite, and that might be all she wrote for Tim. So Marko takes a commanding 4-1 lead, and this is a best of 11 series.
Player defeated.
All right, guys, 4-1 in this series. This is one of my bread and butter maps, so it'll be interesting to see what these guys do. Oh, Kollektiv is again allied on... Oh, he's allied? Did he mean to do that? This is not an allied map, so this will be interesting to see how Marko plays this. I mean, there are great allied players that are good at defending, but I wouldn't be putting my money on that against a player like Marko. And I sure hope NG Eat is off. Marko's coming for the hard engage. He's gonna go for his power, I'd imagine. Not with that pillbox though, unless he gets the other side, and he does. So he's gonna hit the allied player's power. We'll see how Tim reacts here. Super, super common. I mean, Tim's got to be expecting this. It's not like this is out of the ordinary for this map. It's just how the allied player has to react if he wants to win against the Soviet on this map. So essentially, what Marko's doing is he's not trying to win the game right now. He's trying to make him go low money. If he can make him soak up all his resources on GGIs and pillboxes, he's going to be able to pull ahead quickly. And again, another strategy to take out his money. Oh wow, Marko's got the quick tech. Where's his... Oh, he used it on that, so now he's got this one back. So quick tech, we already know what that means. That means Tim better hurry up and build some dolphins. Or a Kirov. He might... Yep, there's the Kirov with the closer war factory, and he's going to send that in right on his base. Or not. Guess he's just focused on those first, and now he's sending it in on his base. And Tim's got nothing. This is going to be too little too late here. And the style Kirov, style point Kirov goes in. So that's 5-1 Marko. This is a match point right here for Marko. Looks like Marko has got the advantage, which is not good for Tim on this map. So the reason why Marko's got the advantage is this right here. I mean, these are right up there, just so good and tasty, while these are spread out. So if you blow up one of these, the rest of them don't blow up, whereas if you blow up one of these, they all blow up. Somebody actually needs to mod this map a little bit and spread these out so they don't do that. Yeah, Jeff, I'm actually I'll post it to my YouTube video, or YouTube channel rather. Oh. So Marko does this a little bit different than me. I actually do this a little bit more efficiently. I like to use 2 conscripts and then send the conscripts here. This might be a good play on his NGs. Oh, and he got it with that sentry. Uh-oh. What's Tim doing? Tim, what are you doing? What are you doing, Tim? Oh god. Oh god. Oh, Marko doesn't see it yet. Oh, now he sees it. He says, what are you doing? Oh, what are you doing? Oh! Oh, wow. That could have been way more painful, but Marko wasn't falling for that shit. Oh, wow. This is going to be interesting. Tim's going for an all or nothing right here. He's going to throw everything he's got from his economy into this. And Marko's at a massive disadvantage because he's not mining anymore. But he's got 7,000, so it really doesn't matter at this point. And if I'm Tim, I'm getting into these buildings as fast as possible. Because this ain't going to last. Marko's got way too much money for this. And Marko's going to cut him off here. So now this may as well be over unless he can get an engineer to this side. That was almost a brutal showing by Tim here. No mercy. And there's the sell-off. So that was a nice little style move by Tim there, but it's Tim sold. And Tim went for the cheese when he didn't get it, so he's gonna that's funny. Oh god, that's great. I look back and everything's gone.